Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. It's another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. She said, what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Gunlo got some bad habits. Bye-ya, bye-ya, bye-ya. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You already know what it is, man. You see the thumbnail, but before we do that, man, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. That notification bell. Touch that motherfucker one time. Turn it to all so that you're notified of all the dope content that I'm bringing all week long. And on we go. And the menudo está in a direct fashion, man. Because the boys in the hood are always hard. You go talking that trash, homie, will pull your card. Nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote Gun Boy, because I ain't said shit. I just gave you some knowledge that you can't get in college, right? Boys in the Hood. One of the most notorious movies that ever hit the screen, right? And when that motherfucker dropped, let me tell you, in the 90s, pura at 10-5 a key. We were definitely into it. Anyone who was infatuated with the gang lifestyle, or who wanted to be, or who was a wannabe that wanted to be, or who thought that they were involved, definitely sat down one time for their mind and watched that, because that was the very first movie that I could remember that was really hood. Not necessarily prison orientated, or like, you know, you had movies like Mi Vida Loca, and then you had movies like, you know, Boulevard Nights, hey, Ranker, you know what I mean? You had all these movies that had come out prior to this movie, but this was the first one that really captivated audiences on the main screen. It's what made gangbanging mainstream. This one and Colors, right? When Colors and Boys in the Hood first came out, everybody wanted to be something. I have several homeboys with cover-ups right now that thought they were Crips. Straight up facts. There wasn't a Mexican in the barrio that wasn't cripping and blooding at one point. We got a problem? Homie, we got a problem. Yeah, we got a problem. That's it. You know what I mean? Understand your culture. You know what I mean? Back in them days, everybody wanted to be that boy from the hood. My own neighborhood, our original name, this is some, hey, a lot of others that are from Dead End don't even know this, right? The original hood name that we gave our hood was the Boys from the Hood, because we were the boys from that hood, right? Eventually, over time, it gravitated towards Dead End Locals. But prior to that, it was Boys from the Hood. Not Boys in the Hood, because we were already in that motherfucker. Ghetto as fuck with roaches everywhere. It was Boys from the Hood. Like, hey, we're them boys from there. That's it. That was our hood. So everybody had an infatuation. This movie, movies like Menace to Society, movies again like Colors, these were the movies that shaped the foundation for gangbanging in the streets of California. You know, up until this point, it hadn't become mainstream, so you were either from a hood or barrio, and you already knew what time it was and knew what was up, knew who your enemies were, you know, pushed that hard line, and that was it. But once you seen this movie, you wanted to become involved. They portrayed it as, of course, a sad story, you know, with a lot of good points, and showing you, man, that in the hood, you know, you can go different routes and shit. So you can go be good and like Trey and do this, or you can go like Doughboy and get them problems, right? But everybody kind of rooted for the bad guy. That's how it is in life. It's how it is on YouTube. Everybody roots for the bad guy because it's the last time they're going to see a bad guy like this, huh? So they root for him. And when you root for the bad guy, you had to root for a guy like Doughboy. You had to root for guys, you know, that were against the grain, that were out there pushing their movement. Of course, it's a feel-good story at the end. He finally wakes up, realizes that, you know, damn. But then it's a little too late. Same thing goes with Menace to Society. It was a little too late. By the time he realized, I got to get the fuck up out of here, Holmes, I did the stompalization to someone I shouldn't have. They doubled back. Hung. That's it. Done. You know what I mean? So I just get Hot Wheels spinning. That's how it is. Now, when this movie first came out, I remember I had a little group of friends. We weren't really into gangbanging quite yet. We were more so just kind of peeping the scene, recognizing the lowriders, recognizing the culture, recognizing that, hey, this is a route that we could possibly go if we choose to. Now, a lot of my friends decide that one core group decided not to go that route. You know, and hey, I can't be mad. One of them was a manager at Walmart. See, he achieved his greatness, right? I myself decided that if for no other reason, I was going to go hang out on the block. I was going to hang out with the D-boys. I was going to hang out with the ones that were pushing that narrative, rocking that Norteño movement. Because that's what I wanted to do. Ultimately, my parents, my familia, nobody could turn me away from that gravitational pull. It was pulling me. It'd be calling me, man. It'd be calling me like Pookie from New Jack City. It was calling me. Another movie, man, that put shit on the map. Juice. So many different movies that we can remember. We could sit here and reminisce all day long. The 90s was the best era, period. Music, sports, movies, que la chingada. There it is there. Arre, wey. It was the best. There's no denying that fact, you know. We went from come and talk to me to now my bitch is bad and bougie. My bitch is bad and bougie. I don't know about your bit, man, but shit, mine's bad. Yours might be bougie. That's it. And I don't even know what bougie means. I just know it just means something of that I don't have. Now, when Boys in the Hood first came out, I remember everybody talking about it. I remember everyone all of a sudden wanting to go buy an AK-47. Gangbanging hit its peak, its height, around the time that these movies like Colors and Boys in the Hood came out. And it was because everybody wanted to be that one. You know, everybody wanted to be Dope Boy, not Ricky. Ricky was eating ding dong. They say, Ricky! Like, oh, fuck, shit. You know what I mean? The Mexicans were over there going, Richie! The brothers were going, Ricky! See? It's always an R. Don't have an R in your jacket. Bang, bang. Boys in the Hood was that one movie, right? But there became people that modeled their whole hood and their whole gang off of movies like that. You know, I remember running into several individuals, man, that were wearing Boys in the Hood t-shirts, hats, and they felt like that made them somebody. That made them something. What's up, eh? You see it? You see it? Nah, I don't see shit, eh? I see a fucking baboso is what I see. When it comes to the raza, we weren't mixed up, but what we were was a little confused, right? You have to understand that when you're from the old school, or your familia's from the old school and it's generational, you're going to get laced up that way. You're going to go towards your culture and your roots and what you are part of, what you are born to be. Spencer Holmes, that's just the way it is. If you don't like it, you know what I mean, get on down the road. That's it. That's just how it is. But movies like this were made to influence. They showed poverty, which we were all going through at the time. You know, most of us, anyone that was from a barrio or hood, you know, we went through pork in the cans and cheese that didn't melt right. And, you know, the peanut butter that just said peanut butter with the white label. Like, we all know this. You know, we know, I don't know about you, Vatos, but I know about standing in line for that caja, you know, for that box with celery, one chicken to boil, and some papas. That's just how it was in my barrio, in my neighborhood. Boys in the Hood came out, and that made us, oh man, we could get an Impala like Dope Boy shit. So you know what I mean? I'm trying to see if the wind blows. Gar! Right? But most of us, what we got was incarceration. We got struggle. We got hardship. See, because while Hollywood doesn't really show you, they showed Dope Boy getting out of prison. Oh yeah, Domino, motherfucker. They showed all that. But they didn't show the struggle that he went through while in prison. You know, if you looked at his face, you see him, he said, man, ain't nothing to do in there but do some push-ups. He ain't lying. Ain't nothing to do in prison but burpees, eh? You know, or function a little bit if you're allowed to, or if you're able to get your wiggle on. There ain't really too much to do in there. But sit there and read books, pump some iron, right? And worry about what you're going to do when you get out, and worry about who your old lady's fucking while you're in there. Because Sawasuke, she's getting her wiggleization on. Sawasuke, ding dong. You know what I mean? Who's in there? That's just how it is. But they were feel-good stories, and they elevated the height of gangbanging in the 90s to its peak, man. You know, I started to hear about hoods that I never heard about. I started to research Crenshaw Mafia. You know, I always thought, trip out cold story, I always thought Crenshaw Mafia was fictitious, right? I always thought it was just a hood that wasn't real, you know, that they made up. Because, you know, a lot of these movies, they'll base their stories off real hoods, but they won't necessarily say them because they don't own the copyright status to that audio, right? But they'll definitely mention something similar, you know, like Blood In, Blood Out, Aryan Vanguard, you know what I mean? La Onda. You already knew what they were talking about, but at the same time, they put a twist on it because one or two things: either they didn't want to disrespect certain organizations, or they just didn't want to go that route because they like where their head's at, on their shoulders, like a fucking bottle of Head and Shoulders, not Pert Plus. That's just it. So I started to look into Crenshaw Mafia and couldn't find nothing. You know, wasn't Googling back then. There was none of that. It was kind of like, go to the library. Hey, you got a book on the Crenshaw Mafia Bloods? Nah, we don't, Baboso. We got a book on how to find dinosaurs. Oh, yeah, I believe that, right? Come on now. And then I got locked up in the youth authority. And I ran into a vato from Crenshaw Mafia named Little Lunch Meat. You know, rest in peace. And when I ran into Little Lunch Meat, you know, I remember he was like, hey, can you do a tattoo on me? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Sasuke, I got a little tattoo skills. I don't even bring those out to display. But back then I was like trying, the struggle was real. Like, hell yeah, anything to earn a little feria so I can get a little cantina, so I can get a sopita. Yeah, what's up? I got you. And I put CM, Crenshaw Mafia Blood Gang on him. CMBG, I think it was. It was a long time ago. And then he started telling me about his hood, his water, and I was like, okay, shit, there are Crenshaw Mafia. Shit, I always thought Trey was just bullshitting. No, there really was, right? So I understood that Ricky really bit the dust off some Crenshaw Mafia guys. You need to understand that that movie impacted my life and a lot of people around me. Because it was my very, very, very first eye-opening experience. I seen Colors, but I was like, Colors looked more like, it was more for the brothers, right? It was grimy, it was gritty, it was raw, it was LA for reals. And I was like, that's, being from Northern California, I couldn't identify with that. Do-rags and blue rags hanging out the back of my, it just wasn't us, right? We was a little swaggy P with it, right? So I was like, I don't identify with that. But when Boys in the Hood came out, it was more low riders. You could see where the brothers, man, wore the Ben Davises, the Dickies. There was, hey, Mamacita, what's up? The Mexicanas walked by. It was just a little bit more my stilo, I guess, a little more swaggy. Like I said, I could identify with it. I wanted to be like that. So I started to model myself off of these movie gangsters. A lot of us did, man. Don't lie. Don't lie, I say. It was my tío who was too busy in the bathroom slamming at the spoon, or it was Doughboy. Who you choose? You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I went with it. And it had a big impact. And I'm not going to say positively because, this is where I ended up ultimately on YouTube in front of a picture of the Jacka, right? But it guided me in a sense of showing me that gangbanging was real. That there's really people out there that'll let you have it for no other reason than you looked at them wrong, or you bumped into them, or you was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It showed me that sometimes the good guy comes last. He doesn't win. And sometimes the good guys do. Movies are meant to influence culture. They're meant to influence the people. They do it in subtle ways, man, to lead you to the liquor store by showing you fucking bottles of 40 ounces. This is what it's meant to be. Don't drink 8 ball because St. Odds is giving ends. Everything was set in motion to direct traffic, Holmes, to lead the people to what they wanted them to lead to, and that was total destruction. Am I lying? Am I lying, though? I'm giving you guys knowledge you can't get in college, real game, because the wind's blowing, man. Sass. This is facts, right? The fact remains that what happened was, Hollywood decided to put out this movie and to direct traffic, Holmes, to lead a whole bunch of youth that were heavily influenced by what they liked and what they seen, the jewelry, the cars, the lowriders, the women. And ultimately, man, gangbanging started to turn up on the streets. See, in the 90s, it was a whole different type of gangbanging. Nowadays, it's internet gangbanging. You got vatos that are exposing each other on the internet. You got vatos that are speaking on things they shouldn't be speaking on. You got vatos that are fucking speaking that should be speaking on, but using the internet to do it. You got a lot of different tactics and ways, man, because social media was able to open up the doors for everyone to communicate and make everything mainstream. You tell me this, I said, when the fuck did you ever think in your whole lifetime you'll see Snoop Dogg crip walking at the Super Bowl? I'll hold, right? Never thought I'd see it. 50 Cent was upside down. Está gordo 50 Cent now, huh? In the club, bottle full of bub. Oh, you drink a lot of bub, buddy, right? And then, of course, Eminem fucking doing his Thug Thizzle. The white guy, the best rapper in the world. Who would have thunk it, in the 90s? Orderly, DMX, where you at? Rest in peace. Now, Tupac, you already know what that is. Nip, bang, bang. We were influenced, right? Gangbanging went mainstream because it was on the bright screen. And then everybody wanted to be a gang member. And let me tell you what happened. A lot of destruction, a lot of desolation, a lot of turmoil, a lot of crying mothers. A lot of families that necessarily, and it affected not only the Los Angeles area, of course, man, it was already popping. There's been popping, right? Northern California, stand up, it's been popping, man. You can't take nothing away from Cali, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, southwestern states. They get it to cracking, right? It's been doing that. Ain't nothing new to this. It's true to this, right? But you got states like Ohio, Indiana, all these different, I'm not going to say, GD, stand up. They're doing it in Indiana. But I'm just saying, you started to have people cripping and blooding all over the world. Norteño and Sureño and all over the world. It's just what it is. When you make something mainstream, man, then everybody wants to be a part of it. Everybody thinks it's cool. But ain't nothing cool about getting that phone call at night that your fucking brother or your son or your daughter took one to the head because they were at that wrong party at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what was happening in the 90s. There was a lot of them phone calls made. I had a primo that passed away and the placas didn't show up and say, hey, we're sorry, man, condolences, this guy's gone. They said, hey, he didn't make it. Didn't make it where? To the liquor store? He was going to go get another fucking bottle. Nah, he didn't make it. We're out of here. ¿Sabes qué? We don't get paid enough for this shit. That's how it was back in the 90s. No one cared because at the end of the day, it was all meant to lead us to one place as minorities, raza and brothers, man. It was meant to just throw us away, man. Let us kill ourselves. Let us destroy ourselves. Do you understand there's liquor stores in every hood and every barrio on every corner? Why? Go ahead, drink. I said drink. You know, do you understand that D-Boys set up shop in their own block, on their own blocks? Why? Because that's what's meant to happen. Holmes, you ain't doing that in no good neighborhood. Hell no. Are you kidding me, yes, sir? Right? Try to go to a good neighborhood right now and sell a little A1 from day one and see what happens. Your ass will be locked up for the vida. You know what I mean? You'll be in that motherfucker with a whole bunch of down-ass, active-ass vatos doing burpees talking about, damn, all I try to do is sell a dime to a fine one, right? Yeah, well, guess what, homeboy? You should have left that college girl alone. That's it, because you're in trouble. Oh, there's going to be trouble. You know you fucked up, right? What movie's that off of? I'll wait. Menace to Society. Now, all these movies were meant to captivate the audience and to influence youngsters, man. So it's up to us as a gente nowadays to recognize that. Although it's a good movie, I watch it from time to time. Now I recognize all the different plots and plans and twists and what it was meant to, you know, open up our minds, to stimulate our minds to go out there and gangbang. I mean, everyone came out of that motherfucker. Hey, I'm Ricky. And they took off running. And then, of course, I lift up a broomstick. Fuck you, blood. Right? You know what I mean? That's what it was. Boys in the Hood, it's a pop culture movie. You know, it did what it was supposed to do, gente. It destroyed a lot of lives. Although it was a feel-good movie in some aspects and a lot of people enjoyed it, I enjoy it. It's a good movie. It destroyed a lot of lives because it turned a whole bunch of people that were not cut from that cloth, that were not really heavily involved in that or laced up that way. It turned them into wannabe gangbangers. The term wannabe, man, is someone that wants to do something but doesn't quite know how to or isn't quite ready for that. You know, it doesn't mean that a wannabe won't shine. It doesn't mean that later on he won't be that man. Man, I've met a lot of guys that at one point in time weren't a nobody, man, and now there's somebody within that gang. But really, man, who are we? We're just brown and black men trying to get by. And Woods, I ain't forgot about you, brothers, right? But that's all we are. Gente, going through a struggle, man. If we don't help each other, who the fuck's going to help us? See, that's one thing about Mexicans. Raza, tell the truth. Tell me I ain't lying, right? Or tell me I am lying if you want. I don't give a fuck, right? I'm going to do what I does. Tell me that we're not in our houses and our parents said, hey, look, someone got shot against, you know what I mean? We're all going to look, but then our father's going to say, hey, mijo, just worry about yourself. Fuck them. You know what I mean? We don't know them, eh? Didn't they come over for the barbecue last week? Yeah, and the fucking carne asada was spoiled. He's a puto anyways, right? That's how it was. Mind your own or your own will remind you. But we don't have to think that way anymore, gente. It's up to us now, the 90s group, homes, the 80s babies, you know, the people born in the late 70s, man, to come together as a gente to lace up this youth, to let them know, man, that what they put in Hollywood and all the shit that they're showing you is all bullshit, man. I had a lot of homeboys die behind movies like Boys in the Hood because they thought that they were somebody. Now they want to ride around with cuetes all of a sudden like they're fucking that guy, like they're dope boy. We got a problem, Simon, we got a problem. Ese, oh, well, shit, I got a problem too. Well, what's your problem, puto? My problem is yours is out, mine's is in. And that's the problem, right? California don't play, man. If you had a problem, Vatos would definitely give you that problem. If you want that smoke, by the time you look, the gun was already smoking. Ain't no joking. I'm Young Gun and I ain't from Oakland, California. Home of the rock. We got a woofers in the trunk beating down the block. Right? We were beating down the block. Stay beating down the block. It's the block shit. But you have to understand fact from fiction. You have to understand, although Boys in the Hood and movies like that showed a little bit of taste of reality, homes, the reality is it was much more dangerous than that movie portrayed. It was very dangerous in the 90s. And it continues to be dangerous, only on a whole different level. With that being said, man, I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. I hope that you recognize the realness that I'm trying to speak here. I'm trying to give you clecha. I got the double up coming on later. You're going to get a little drama. You're going to get a little bit of everything that you want. But this is a feel-good one, man. This is to give game to the youngsters that don't understand, man. The things we went through, the things that we've seen is what dictated our path. It's the reason why a lot of us are still standing here saying, damn, homie, it was crazy. I don't know how I made it. I don't know how I made it. I've been shot. I've been stabbed. I've been battery packed. Sometimes I've been hit with broomsticks. Moms, stand up, right? I've been on the verge of extinction, homes. They did me like a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex, you know? Motherfuckers try to extinct me off this earth. But I'm still here, and I'm here to push a message. And the message is unity. Raza, we need to help each other. We need to lace up the youth. With that being said, move with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, no one's going to do it for you. Strive to struggle and struggle to strive. It just is what it is. Thumbs up or thumbs down. See, Heavy's going to be the head that wears guns crown. I'm going to continue to do me, man. That's all I can do, man. Congratulations and respects to all those that are doing their thing. Hey, nothing but love for you. I'ma do mines. Bang, bang. Because the shit don't stop.